you could replicate this cold email strategy I'm about to show you, you could make millions of dollars. My name is Matt, and in this video, I'm going to show you the cold email campaign that did over $1.8 million in sales for my agency. And the main things I'm going to talk about are the offer, the list, the script, other things that affect cold email that aren't necessarily cold email itself. And then I'm going to finish it off with how you can do something like this for your business. So let's get started. On my screen here, I have, I guess you could call it a little Miro board going on here. And at the top, we have our four main buckets that have to do with cold email. We have the offer, we have the list, the script, and what we're going to call other factors for this video. And there are many. I have a spot for notes, and then I have a spot to show you what I did, because that really is what this video is about. But I want to balance what I did with what you should do to be successful for yourself. So over here, I have 5 main points that I want to talk about for each of these things, because in order for it to really be useful and to make sense, you would have to know a little bit about these things. So let's zero in on the offer first. And the thing we need to understand is that our cold email offer is our main leverage point. And if we've gotten all of our business from referrals or our network previously, the stuff that worked on our network and referrals is not going to work on cold emails, because what are some things that are true? These people that you're emailing don't know you. They've never asked to be emailed. They might not even be in the market for what it is you're offering. They don't trust you. It's all of these things. So that's an uphill battle to climb, right? So you have to be a lot better than you would have if you were trying to sell it to someone your friend referred you to face to face. So we have to ask ourselves the question, how will we stand out? Because not only are we fighting an uphill battle, there's tons and tons of other people cold emailing them too. So how are we going to stand out from the, let's just call it 20 other cold emails they get per day or per week? Let's go for per week, just to, be a little bit generous to ourselves here. How are we going to stand out? And the main way that you stand out is we want to give them something for free. That doesn't necessarily mean free work, although it could. But we want to essentially prove ourselves and give them some value, give them something that's useful, give them something that, will make us stand out, will make them know, like, and trust us. And the easiest way to do that is to center it around a video or a loom. So what I mean by that is, let's just say, hey, my name is Matt. I saw you are an agency owner. We have an agency program that has over 200 clients. And then you say, based on our results and our research in our group, these are the 5 things that, contribute to agency success. I recorded a short video going over them. Mind if I send it over? Like that kind of thing, as opposed to, please get on a call with me, I'm desperate. Very important. So the video strategy is very good because you can, number one, you can get a lot more information and you can make it a lot more in depth than you could an email, because the email would have to be huge. You can show your face, which is one of the biggest benefits of it. So you're just actually a real person, not some random on the internet. And hearing your voice is the same thing. It's very, very good. It's very, very important to have something like this, because it's the only way you're going to build trust, stand out, and get a little bit of reciprocity by giving them something for free. The final part is, like, cold email. By definition, it's right in the name. The leads are super, super cold. And that's not necessarily a good thing for us, because cold leads are going to be the most hesitant, most skeptical, most conservative buyers possible. So what we're offering, we really have to be able to explain how, for every dollar that they risk, so let's say it's $1,000 what we're offering, does it have potential to get them 100x or more return on investment? So if they're risking $1,000, if successful, is this going to make them $100,000 or more? And this is not a hard and fast rule. Like 100x is just an arbitrary number, but it's a very good way to be thinking about all of this kind of stuff. It's very, very important. So let's go to the offer. And the offer notes, the main thing I'm going to say is the offer is your highest leverage point. The list, well, as long as the list is relevant and you don't massively screw up the script, you will find success if you have a great cold email offer. And this is not really exclusive to cold email. Having a great offer is always the highest point of leverage in pretty much anything, but especially with cold email, let's just say. The next is going to be the lists. So I've opened up some of this stuff. I usually exported my lists in Apollo and used a Apollo scraper basically to get them for cheaper. Do that if you want, or you can pay. And then I clean them with Million Verifier. So when I was doing it, and I'll show you what I was doing after, but you can get and build your list like whatever you really want. So if you want to just do, CEOs in the United States, for example, let me just show you that. CEO. There's 573,000 people with the job title CEO in the United States alone. You can narrow it down further, but that's just an example of how easy it is to get cold email leads these days. The problem with this is it's not updated in, up to the minute real time. I'm not sure how often it's updated. So whatever you do, you want to run it through Million Verifier. So you'd export a list here, run it through Million Verifier, and the purpose of that is we don't want to email bounce. We don't want our emails to bounce. So situations where it bounces, they have like too big of security settings. The email doesn't exist anymore. Those are the two main situations. We want to remove those because if our emails bounce, that indicates that our domains that we're sending the cold emails from are spammers, basically. And a larger percentage of our cold emails are going to go to their spam. And if it's going to their spam, not really going to make any sales, are we? So it's very important there. So build it with Apollo. The three main, in my experience, like the three universal criteria or filters that you use are location, job titles, and employee counts. I really prefer the employee accounts. I've had way better success with that, at least. It's because a lot of people will do it by revenue, and that's fine if it's a public company, like you can kind of just see their revenue. But if it's not a public company, which is most companies, right? The way that this is like what I'm trying to say is this is a guess or an estimation at best, and you can really get a better, in my experience, result by sorting through employees. For example, if you're trying to get a small business, you might do, the 3 to 10 employee range, and that's going to give you a much better result for who's actually a small business and who's not. Because if you have 3 employees, you're not really poor or anything. Like you have some level of success. And then 10 employees, that kind of implies that they're making $1 million or less. If you just take the average 100,000 revenue per employee, depends on the industry. It's not perfect either, but this is something that is very, very strong to do. So job title, location, and then the employee count. There are situations like, for example, when we go over what I did, I'm targeting e-commerce companies using Shopify, right? So if it's that simple for you, like if it's built on Shopify, like the scraper is going to know that. So here's just an example of the situation where that happens. All of these are going to be Shopify stores, but I'll go with that later. So if you can use technologies, like if it's relevant for you, definitely use it. But a lot of this is going to be, guessing at best, let's just say. Once you build it with Apollo, with the location, the job titles, the employees, you scrape it with an export Apollo or another Apollo scraper. You clean it with Million Verifier. The best thing to do is once you build up a list, swap it with friends, swap it with partners, people who sell to the same type of customers as you do, but aren't competitive or aren't selling the same service as you. So if you did Facebook ads for e-commerce, swap lists with your friend who does email for e-commerce or SEO for e-commerce. And it'll just, you'll get a lot bigger lists a lot faster that way, but it's just one of those things. So let's go. We want to export the most accurate list as possible, and then we must clean the list. If we don't clean it and a large percentage of our emails bounce, our deliverability will be absolutely crushed. That's just the reality of it. Very important. So let's go to the script now. So the script is very important. Of course, I said the offer is the most important, and then having the proper list is important. And then the script, I said, as long as you don't screw it up, like you're good. And that is true, but most people screw it up, let's just say. So we want to have it as simple as possible. A lot of people treat this like they're doing like a sales page or they're copywriting. It should be more conversational, like you're actually trying to talk to someone than some sort of marketing copy. As a rule of thumb, I always do 75 words or less, and you just go to like word counter, type it in after. Oops, look at there. That's my script. Gonna ruin the video, ruin the surprise. But so 75 words or less. If it was 78 words or 81 words, like gonna not do it, but just not like 600 words like so many people do. The call to action shouldn't be a, get on a call with me. It should be something centered around that video that we said over here. Do not be fake or hide your intentions. A lot of people will do something really stupid, like say they love your content or they love your business, and then you say thank you, and then they try to sell you something. Whoever's teaching people to do that should be shot, in my opinion. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. And then the overall structure of the script, intro, offer, call to action. 75 words or less, simple. Call to action is the video. We don't need it to be super complicated. The gist of our script should be a simple 75 word or less script that is focused on providing value by sending them a video. Not too complicated, just. We're just going to go with basis. Never used the word just in my life except for in this situation. The final thing should be other factors. So these play a lot bigger role than a lot of people think. So the first thing you want to do is Google yourself. Like I run a business now called 1000x Leads. So actually Google yourself, because a lot of people will receive your cold email, not respond, Google you and see what comes up to see if you're legit or not. And if nothing comes up, that's not going to be a good thing, right? So the first thing you want to do is Google yourself and optimize your search results and pack your search results as much as possible. So in my situation, or in my line of thought rather, anything showing up is better than nothing. You want to put your business name in your YouTube video or YouTube name, your Twitter name, your LinkedIn name. You want to have some reviews. You want to have all of this kind of stuff so that something does show up. Very, very, very important, because a lot of people are going to just Google you and then not respond and then go to your website and go from there. Next thing you want to do is click on your website. So where's my website here? So my website is 1000x Leads, and my main website's not showing up. But this is what my website is. So maybe I got some work to do after this video. But what shows up on your website? You should have a video sales letter or something like that. You should have something that really explains what your offer is in plain English, all of that kind of stuff. So go to your website, especially on mobile. I'm not going to do mobile for this video just because it's going to be unnecessarily complicated. But go and see what shows up on your actual website and what it looks like, and be, honest, be unbiased, because this is very, very important. So people will Google you, they will click on your website, and then they're going to go from there based on what they see. So make sure you have, like I said, reviews. So there's some reviews there. You have some client wins. You have some case studies. You have logos. All of this stuff is very important for your cold email, believe it or not. The next thing you want to do, for a couple of different reasons, is let's go back to where I was Googling myself. You want to have your name in your YouTube. So like my name is Matthew Larson, but 1000x Leads is there. So if someone searches my brand, it shows up. Same with the LinkedIn, same with the Twitter, Matthew Larson 1000x. So it's very important, because a lot of people will Google you, they'll stumble across your LinkedIn, or they'll stumble across your Twitter, or they'll stumble across your YouTube and start watching. So if someone goes to my YouTube and starts watching, and then 30 days from now, they'll actually book a call. That is a very, very common scenario. So these are things that have nothing to do with the list, nothing to do with the offer, nothing to do with the script, but make just as big of impact on your cold email results as anything else. So it's very, very, very important that you do this as well. So basically right here, a lot of people will read your, your cold email, not reply, Google you, go to your site, check out your content, check out in that way, check out your case studies, reviews, etc., and then eventually book a call down the road. Make sure they like what they see. Very, very important. So let's get into what I did, because we've already gone over the offer, the list, the script, and the other factors, and we have some notes for each. So now it's, what did I do? So I kind of ruined it already, so we'll go out of order. In my situation, this was essentially my cold email script. So let's just copy and paste it in here, and let's drag it down a little bit. Let's put it there so it's easier to read. Let's drag all of these down a bit, no problem. So my offer was basically, so let's just put my offer. My landing page, so who is this offer for? This is an important background. This is for e-commerce brands running paid ads on Facebook and TikTok. That's who it was for, basically. So that's kind of important background. My offer. My landing page will outperform your current landing page by at least 10% in a 30-day A/B test, or I will give you a full refund in a legally binding contract with no funny business. So that was my offer. So like I said before, what works on cold email is not going to work on, or what works on referrals and your network is not going to work on cold email. This is going to be a lot better. This is an example of what I would say a good offer, to be honest. So it's for e-commerce brands. My landing page will outperform your current one, but you'll notice in my script that I don't go for that immediately, right? So I said, hey there with their first name, because you're going to get their first name from here. I make landing pages to help e-commerce brands increase their paid ad conversion rate and lower their CPA, cost per acquisition. That's the main result. That's what I do. And that's why I'm reaching out to them. So I helped, X brand get Y. We had over tons and tons of clients. So I would change this up. And I would change this up based on the number of employees, because if they have, 3 to 10 employees, it's not going to be helpful if I say a huge brand that does 500 million a year. But the opposite is also true. If I'm emailing the huge brands, I'll put we helped another huge brand get Y result. We do over 200 landing pages per month. I recorded a 6-minute Loom, which is a video going over the top 8 things you need to do to make sure your landing page converts at 4% or more from cold traffic and Facebook ads. Do you mind if I send this video over, Matt? So that is my script. And spoiler alert, right? So that was the script that I was using. I used Instantly for this. So I had, this is where you'd upload your leads, but there's a lot of tools, Instantly, Smart Lead, there's some. But the script would basically go in here with some Spintax. And if you don't know what Spintax is, beyond the scope of this video, I guess you could say. Spintax, basically, I guess not beyond the scope of this video, is if you put, random like this, and then you put a bunch of different options. So let's go option A, option B, and how you add the Spintax is going to be different based on your cold email software. So if you're not using Instantly, don't do this. So what this does is you'll see random here, and there's 4 options. What it will do, and you'll have usually multiple pieces of Spintax in there. So you might, if you have 1000x leads here, you might have multiple different things, like 1000xleads.com, founder, 1000x leads, Matthew Larson. And the reason that you have a bunch of different options is it will randomly select it and make different combinations on your emails. So if you just did the same email for everything, very easy for Google or Microsoft or whatever their email service provider is to just see that you're basically sending it to everyone's, call you a spammer and ban you. But if you have a bunch of different options like this, it will make, if you have enough different options, no two emails will be the same. Because think of it like permutations in high school. That's basically what you're doing. If you have, 5 different options up here, 5 different options here, 5 different options here, 5 different options here. Eventually, there's millions of different combinations of emails. Plus, you have the infinite randomness of their first name. No two emails would be the same, and it's very important for deliverability. So, just important note. And I wouldn't consider the, spin tax to be part of my word counter. I wouldn't do like this crap down here. Like that doesn't count. 75 words or less with the actual script. This is 74. Simple as possible. Very important. So we kind of did this out of order, but let's go back to what I did for the actual lists. And I basically did the same thing. So CMO stands for Chief Marketing Officer, co-founder. Because at this level, 3 to 10 employees, it's mostly going to be the founder who makes these decisions. As you grow up, it'll be different. But this is like what I would be doing. So technologies, Shopify. I was sending a ton of these cold emails, like 20,000 a day at the very peak. So I had to expand this target audience very aggressively. But when you are first starting out, you can make it tight and then, go from there. So 3, and eventually I started at 3 to 10 employees, but eventually had to do like tons because you work through the market pretty darn quick. So for here, 72,000 contacts. There's other spots where you can save their contacts as well, and you can basically paid ads. You can basically expand the list of job titles. So this is what I did basically. So location, United States, because that's where the best cold email laws are in terms of founder, CMO, director of marketing. That's where the loosest cold email laws and regulations are, to go back to what I was saying, just because in Europe and stuff, there's a bit different laws. So it's just like, you might get in trouble, whereas the United States is the most free. That's why I usually stick to the United States on these ones. Employee count, 3 to 10. Technologies used. Shopify. Let me zoom in on this. I noticed that it's Shopify Plus, Magento, WooCommerce. So, 3 to 100 realistically at the end. But this is what I did for all of this stuff. And to be honest, the other factors, like I didn't do like a lot of what I was saying to do. So if I did, it probably could have worked out even better for me. So I had a VSL on site. I had some reviews. I had not many case studies. I think I had 3 case studies out of thousands and thousands, well, not thousands, a couple thousand clients. I did not have great PR or search results. Not that I had bad PR, just didn't have it really. I was not super well known in my industry. My company keyword was very competitive and didn't show up at all without Google search ads, because I was competing with all of the landing page building softwares. So it looked super unprofessional, let's just say. So I didn't even do this super well, but it worked pretty good. So I hope this video is helpful. Like, this is the kind of stuff that you're going to need to think about when you are trying to do a cold email campaign. When you get it right, you can really make a ton of money, and that's the good news. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.